The simple past tense. The simple past is used to describe an action that happened in the recent past. Follow these rules here, to create the simple past tense with regular verbs. Let's take a look at the rules. Add ed to the simple form of the verb. For example, to visit. This is the simple form of the verb, visit. To create a simple past tense form, we add ed. I visited, you visited, he visited, she, it, we, they, all visited. Add only d if the verb ends in e. For example, for the verb believe, because it ends in e, we only add d to create simple past tense. I believed, you believed, he believed, she, it, we, they believed. Delete y and add ied to the simple form of the verb if the verb ends in y, preceded by a consonant. Remember, a consonant is any letter that is not a vowel. What is a vowel? The vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. The rest of the letters in the alphabet are consonants. So we add IED and take away the Y. If it ends in Y and is preceded by a consonant like R. To cry. I cried. Notice we took away the Y and added IED. You cried. He cried. She, it, we, they cried. When ed is added to verbs that end in d, pronounce the last syllable separately. For example, the simple verb to need is pronounced in the simple past tense, I needed. Notice that I pronounce ud, need, needed. You needed, he needed, she needed, it, we, they needed. When ed is added to verbs that end in t, pronounce the last syllable separately, just like we did with this rule. For example, the verb want. We add ed and pronounce ed, so I want becomes I wanted, I wanted. You wanted, you wanted. He wanted, she wanted. It, we, they wanted. The ending of all other regular verbs is pronounced as one syllable when ed is added. So, for example, the simple verb open, to open. To create the simple past tense, we would simply add ed and pronounce it I opened, you opened, he opened, she opened, it, we, they opened. Be sure to practice saying these aloud. For practice, it's always good to repeat. For this assignment, I would like for you to do two things. First, translate each of these words to your language. And next, rewrite the following sentences in the simple past tense by adding either ed or ied to the simple form of the verb in parentheses. Let's look at a few examples. Number one, the simple verb is to use. My hair dryer to dry my hair. To change this to the simple past tense, we would take the verb use and add D. I used my hair dryer to dry my hair. Number two, we try a recipe last night, a new recipe last night. How would we change try to the simple past tense? Well, remember the rule. If the verb ends in Y preceded by a consonant, we change it to IED. So this would be, we tried, TRIED, a new recipe last night. Number three, Thomas answered the phone. How would we change this to simple past? We would simply add ED and pronounce it answered. Thomas answered the phone. Be sure to complete each of these all the way through number 11. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing your work.